Novo izdanje podcasta Timeouta danas ćemo imati priliku da ugostimo bivšeg košarkaša Partizana Zeka Ledeja. Thank you so much for making that today. I know this is a very important part of the season. So especially this EuroLeague, this season you're super, super crazy. But first of all, tell me, how are you doing? Are you feeling okay? How is being back in Milan?
Oh, it's good. It's good. Milan's a beautiful city. It's a beautiful place. There's really great culture, a lot of international culture, so it's really good. So it was like I didn't skip a beat. It's easy to adjust to, especially for me, someone being in Europe for 8 years. So it's good. It's good.
8 years. It's a long time.
Yeah,
It's a long
yeah. It's
time.
crazy.
So now when you look back at Zach 8 years ago, and now you see the difference, a different person.
I feel like I'm the same person as far as my core values, yeah, who I was raised to be, and like what I stand on and what I believe in. Um, I feel like if you don't have good core values, then whenever you get success and whenever you start to have success, then you go away and you won't get the results that people of consistency get. But in general, obviously, you have experiences that life teaches you and you learn lessons. And I've learned a lot of lessons in general from the 8 years I've been over here. So it's all good. I'm not too old or not too experienced to learn lessons. I just come and just try to just come and learn it every day, a different type of way.
Yeah, a lot of things happen in those 8 years. But okay, we'll talk about this. But I would like to start with the current situation, talking about Milan and the EuroLeague. You're doing pretty good, guys, this season, and it's a very weird season in the EuroLeague. So everything is still open. It's unbelievable. What do you think about this?
I mean, for me, I don't know. I mean, everyone says it's weird, but I feel like it's always like this. It always comes down to the end. Teams are trying to find their way. Coaches are trying to find their way with players. Like, I think that it's good that we have like a new club come in, like Paris, and come in and shock the EuroLeague and make the EuroLeague adjust to them. Um, but I think that it's always competitive, right, all the way to the end. You know, everything is always like they say, every game matters. It's very true. It's always competitive right down to the home stretches of the season. And then when you get in the playoffs, that's a whole different conversation. You talk about matchups and who ends up playing against who. So,
Yeah, I agree 100% with you. I just say that because I've noticed that this season, one or two games can change everything. So basically, it's going to be very, very interesting until the last game. We won't know who's going to play the playoffs and the play until the last game. I'm sure about that. And some unexpected teams that did very good.
for sure, for sure. I mean, that's what makes the league good is when you have new people come in and new teams come in and are fighting to be competitive and to be the best. And it's not the same just over and over and over. You have new inclusive coming in. That's what makes the league the best league outside the NBA. So,
Yeah, and I have the impression that this season, Coach Messina found a great combination of players, and we can see that on the court that you're doing pretty good, guys. So, what do you think about the team? How's the team, the atmosphere inside?
oh, we got a really, really young team. I mean, a lot of guys, it's their first year in EuroLeague, so all of them are just taking the experience in day by day. Um, and it's different when you're coming into your first EuroLeague situation. I remember when I was 23, 24, and I was like seeing and I was asking questions, but not understanding like what was really like the nuances of EuroLeague. And so like when you have a lot of guys that's new to EuroLeague, like like they're going through their first experiences, and you're trying to explain how important everything is, but sometimes you just got to go through it and learn those lessons. And we got guys that's getting those lessons, and they getting better game by game, and learning game by game and getting more experience under their belt. And then again, it's on us veterans to help them and to guide them the best way that we can. Obviously, being the best leaders for the team, and also being the best like guiders to help people get experience so they can be seasoned for when the time comes like this, which is at the end when you have to really make it count.
Yeah, but on the other hand, you're there, Mirotic is there, Shields are there, players with experience, the secret weapons, I would like to say. I think secret weapon is the right word for that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I have a great partnership with them. Obviously, Siobhan, I have a history with. We made it to a Final Four here in Milan, only one in the past 30 years. And then obviously, Mirotic is probably, he might be the greatest power forward in EuroLeague history if you look at the accolades and the numbers and the things piled up. So, when you put great players on the floor together and we're all coming together and working together and leading in our different ways and coming to speak the same language, it's all good because it's like a triangle. You get three different things, but we're all going to the same direction.
Yeah, I remember that the Final Four was a season 2021 was in Germany, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Was in
yeah. Yeah,
Germany
it was
and
in Cologne.
yeah, it was a very weird situation because it was during the pandemic. So what was weird, but yeah, I wanted to talk about this right now because that season you had a great season with the team and personally, but at the end you decided to go to another team. You decided to go to Partizan and not to play EuroLeague, but to play EuroCup. So why did you decide this?
Well, I mean, it's not some of the things are just business. It's the business, and at the end of the day, like when I went to Partizan, it was the best thing for my career. I gained some of the best friendships, relationships. I was coached by Zelko Obradovic. When you look, I mean, I don't even have to explain what that is. I mean, everyone knows he's the greatest. So it's like going to get my experience in Belgrade and learn all my lessons, learn and get a basketball pedigree. Because I feel like Serbia has the best basketball in Europe, I could say. Like if I had a child, I would take them to Serbia to learn how to play basketball. So, I mean, just to get all those basketball lessons in general every day, and you can't put a price on that. That's something for your life, something for the future, something for whatever team I play on. If I go to Africa and play basketball, I will be able to play the best because I learned in Serbia the best ways of how to play and from Coach Obradovic and all the coaching staff at Partizan and got my experience there. So I'm just grateful for all my experience in general. Like that's what we talk about with the 8 years. It all comes like all the different ups and downs and all the different chapters, and I'm just grateful for it all in general.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you that question because I wanted to hear your opinion. And I think that was very brave in that moment because you had a great season in the EuroLeague and you made a step back.
That pushed me like to a whole nother level. So it's funny that to be looked at as a in any type of way. For me, like I was just like I feel like for all of us, me, KP, Matthias, it was like Dante, Exum, like it's just like a special time, man, because we were all just in a period where we didn't even know that we needed to grow and that we grew like exponentially. So it was just a great time, great period. I'm just grateful for it. So
Let me explain that. I mean that the Euro Cup was one step back, but as I said, one
yeah,
step back to make three steps forward. And Željko Obradovic was a three steps forward.
for
You got
sure,
it
for
now?
sure, for sure. I agree.
For sure, when Željko Obradovic calls you, you cannot refuse him. Everybody, he's a legend, a legendary coach. And now when you see yourself, okay, the first time you came to Milan was before Partizan, and now you're back after Partizan. Between was the Partizan moment with Željko Obradovic. Do you see the difference? Zach Ledej is a different player before Željko Obradovic and after Željko Obradovic.
I would say I'm a different player, person, human being, everything. I mean, when I was in Milan the first time, I was the youngest player on the team on a Final Four team with great uh, Chacho Rodriguez, Kyle Hines, Malcolm Delaney, Gigi Datome. The list goes on and on. Just great. And so I was the youngest. Me and Siobhan were like the youngest on the team, and I was just coming in every day learning. And the standard was set from the beginning of the year that we wanted to play in that we were going to play in the Final Four. And so as a young player, we came in and there was no other option. I was my standard was set, and I was playing to compete in that and working every day to compete in that. And then I went straight to Partizan. I had to become a leader because we had a really, really young team. That was the first time and I went from being the youngest on the Final Four team to being immediately the oldest, like me and KP. So we had to become leaders, and we had to carry the club, and we wanted to push the club to another level. We saw it as a challenge, and I feel like we were able to push the club to a great place in our 3 years that we spent there. And it was just at the end of the day, it was truly a blessing. And as I come back to Milan now, we're trying to lift the club back to where that was when I left uh, during the COVID season before I left and went to Partizan. So that's a goal, just trying to lift that club back. And it's not an easy process, but you stay in, and that's what you come to work for every day. And I'm just blessed to be able to take that challenge on and be able to show up and just keep showing up and being tough and being resilient.
You've been here for a while, and you know that Serbs loves basketball. You saw the atmosphere and everything. This atmosphere changed your mentality. This basketball culture in Serbia helped you to develop as a player?
Um, I would say I feel like me going to Serbia, that was my natural, like Serbs have the same, like hardworking pedigree, no fancy stuff. It's just, you just gonna put your hard hat on and you just gonna go balls to the wall. So that's my style. That's the only way I know how to play. So that's where we go hand in hand. And it was just perfect. It was a perfect match made in heaven, honestly. And that's why I'm just so grateful for the experience, grateful to come there every day. And then at the same time, to be able to grow my basketball mind within like strategies, within like game situations, in game situations, uh, different things like that. Um, so it's really just every aspect in general of basketball. I feel like I was able to grow in Serbia for sure.
Yeah, I'm sure that fans are still sharing a lot of love. They still love you every time you're coming back to Belgrade. You're still in their hearts, Zach.
For sure, for sure. Those my people. So like I said, I was all around Belgrade. I was in the ghettos, I was in the schools, I was everywhere. So I was in all the neighborhoods. So those are my people, man. I have so much similarities to the Serbs. So for sure, those are my people forever.
Now I'm thinking about Partizan, and I'm thinking about that great roster. You, Kevin, Alexa, and all those players. And it was difficult after you left to find chemistry. And I have the impression that this Partizan this season with these guys have, I don't want to say the same chemistry, but it's similar. So what do you think about them?
For sure. I mean, it takes time when you bring a new team together, um, and especially like guys coming from all different places, learning basketball in different ways because Zelko teaches basketball in a special way. And so it's definitely like a learning curve that you have to go through and to get on his page, on the same page as him. And then once you do get on that same page, chemistry is not something that can be forced. Like you either have guys that naturally vibe with each other and vibe and play together, or it's just kind of like it's like oil and water that don't mix. So it's like you can't teach that. It's something that just comes naturally, and you can see that definitely with the time taking that with the hard times that they went through in the early season. Now at the end, you can start to see like, wow, okay, like because you go through those hard times, that's what builds character, and builds to where you like, oh, guys, I could rely on him. 'Cause he was with me in my lowest. Now we up. So now, like, I know, like, that I could really rely on him because he was with me in the foxhole. So that's really what that is. Well, I would definitely say they have a good chemistry, especially right now within the last 11 games. I think they're 8-3 in the last 11 games.
I said you guys, you, Matthias, Kevin, Alex, I have a very, very special part in the heart of the fans. They're always mentioning you. And I think that means to you. It's nice because you're doing your job. You're on the court. You're doing your job. But when you see all these people screaming your name, all these people cheering for you, that's something that's great.
For sure. I mean, like I said, I left my blood, sweat, tears, body, everything. It was a lot of nights where I was getting in a tub of ice, because I wanted to just do whatever I could to just play for the fans, play for everybody in the club, and to give my all for them and to bring prominence and bring trophies and do whatever it could to win. And so at the end of the day, like I have no regrets. I just went out there like a warrior, just try to compete, do the best way I could, make it out on the other side, and just keep going and keep competing.
Hmm. You're now a Milan player, and for sure your goal is to help the team and to go far with the team. But how do you feel when you're playing against Partizan?
Oh, it's very weird because it's my blood is always black and white. My family is all black and white. They still talk about it when we talk about basketball. We always talk about Partizan. So it's very weird. But at the end of the day, I'm a competitor and I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna compete, be a dog, and do the best I can for the team that I'm leading. So, but it's very weird to play against Partizan because, like I said, I'm gonna bleed black and white for the rest of my life. So.
Thank you so much, Zach, for this conversation, and good luck for everything out there.
Thank you so much. Dobro veče, Wala puno. Peace and love to all my people in Belgrade. It's like my second home. So, peace and love. All the best.
To je sve za ovo izdanje podcasta. Vidimo se sljedećeg četvrtka.